Hey everybody, today we are going to be making salsa con queso. This particular recipe is courtesy of JK18, link to his channel in the video description below. So what you'll need for this is pretty simple. You just need your salsa, your cheese, your cutting board and knife for the cheese, the crock pot to make it in, of course, and the tortilla chips to enjoy them later. And this type of cheese is the Velveeta type cheese. In this case, this brand is Clancy's just because this is what Aldi had at the time, and this is what we got from it, okay? So, in terms of amounts, it's very simple. I'll show you how it all comes together, okay? This is a 24-ounce jar of salsa, and if you want the metric units, it's 680 grams, okay? And the Velveeta cheese is 32 ounces, or 907 grams. All right. So the way to put this together is very simple. For every 24-ounce jar of salsa, you use a half a block of cheese. So some simple math. If you use 2 of these jars, you use a whole block of cheese. Simple enough and easy to put together. So let's go ahead and get this cheese out, put it on the cutting board, and get it all set up. Alright, and the way that you cut this cheese up is pretty simple. You just want it to be in cubes by the time you're finished cutting it. So I'll go ahead and start cutting it. I don't know if you're supposed to start this way or that way, but whichever way you feel most comfortable with, you know, just go with it. It's fine. So let's see. So I think I'll start doing it this way. Okay. You know, just you know, be very careful using knives, obviously, to just cut across each section best that you can. If it doesn't come off as perfect cubes, it's okay because, you know, it's going to be all melted together anyway afterwards. So just go ahead and cut off each section that you can, like so. Now, normally, if you have a knife with holes for cheese, that would be good, but I don't have it in this case, so I'm just trying to improvise the best I can. You know, just go back and forth or just push down. It's up to you. Again, it doesn't have to be anything neat because it's all going to be melted together with the salsa anyway. And yeah, just cut along like that. And it's a very interesting knife to use with cheese, let me tell you. But it does the job really. A little bit messy, but not too bad. Okay, there it is right there. Put this section on top. Then basically you just put these sections together and just cut along again like this. And it's a little bit easier if I go back and forth with it, and it'll just push down. So, just like that. And ladies meowing, don't mind that. All right. And you want to just, you know, keep them as equal size as possible, even though I said it doesn't matter if it's neat cubes or anything, but, you know, you just want to make it sure that it all is all nice and cubed by the time you put it together in the crock pot with everything. Okay, so I'm not going to make you sit through this and watch the whole cutting process, okay, but as you get the idea, just cut it all into like as cubed as possible, or, you know, like rectangles, whatever. It doesn't have to be square. Make all that, then it'll be ready to put into the crock pot. And when you're all done cutting, this is basically what it should all look like. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but sort of like cube-sized shapes, okay? All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put both of these in the crock pot. So let me just set this aside for a second. Get the crock pot. Okay, all that stuff, good. Now, you can put the salsa in first, you can put the cheese in first. It really doesn't matter because it's all going to get mixed together anyway. But in this case, I'm going to put the salsa in first. All right. There we go. It's good to get as much out of the jar as you can. All right, now I've got a little on the edge there. That's okay. Okay, now we'll go ahead and start putting the cheese into it. It's a very straightforward process. No magic behind it. Okay. And you can go ahead and mix it up. I got a spoon right here. Just to start, mix up the cheese and the salsa together. All right. All right, that looks pretty good, I'd say. All right, now let's go ahead and get this plugged into the wall and turned on. Okay, and there it is all in the crock pot. So we're gonna go ahead and put it to high, and we're going to just give it one last mix up before I put the lid on. Now there is one thing I do want to stress here, okay? Every crock pot will be different, but if you have this set to high, make sure you keep watch on this, okay? Because once the cheese starts to become uniform, it may be a good idea to set it to low. I didn't do that last time, and I ended up overcooking it, unfortunately. It wasn't that bad when it was all done, but it definitely wasn't as good as it normally was. So if you're going to use a crock pot with a high setting, if you're going to use high, that's fine, but just keep watch on it, and keep watch on the cheese as it all warms up, okay? And make sure it's all uniform. And I'll show you when to put it to low as well, just so you get an idea. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, wait a few minutes, let that warm up, and see how it does. It's been about 15 minutes now, and you can tell things have warmed up with the condensation on the glass. Let's go ahead and have a look. Now, it may not look too different immediately, but once you start mixing it up, you should start seeing a little bit of a difference. Let's see. Yeah, the cheese has gotten a little bit softer, but overall, not too much of a difference just yet. But again, this isn't that bad because, like I said, when you have this on high, you want to make sure that you don't overdo this, because if you do, it definitely won't be as good as it normally can be. Just trust me on that. Okay, so I guess we'll wait. Yeah, the cheese is blending in just a little bit more, but it doesn't look anywhere near how it will yet when it's fully done. So we'll wait a few more minutes, and then we'll come back and see how it looks again. All right, guys, it's been about now a half hour since we first turned it on and mixed it up, okay? Now, as you can see, things are looking much more uniform now. And this is after mixing it up all the times in between. Notice how the cheese doesn't look as blocky anymore. Now it looks all more mixed in with the salsa. So by this point now, I'm going to switch this to low, just because it should be hot enough at the point now where the cheese will all be mixed in well with the salsa, and you want it to look all nice and uniform and things like that. There's still a little bit of blocks left here and there, but they are mixing in very well. But like I said, I'm going to put it to low now just because I think it's hot enough where it will melt in the cheese very well. And like I said, you don't want to overdo it, okay? So we're going to let that all set in, but this is looking very good now, much more uniform, and definitely better from last time as well. Alright, so we'll give this a little bit more time, and then once we come back, it should be all set to go. So it's been about a total of 45 minutes now, and I think we should all be good to go. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, look at that. Everything's all nice and uniform, one color mostly. That looks perfectly done. Definitely looks better than last time too. Not overdone at all. And we'll give this a try in just a bit, but that's how it should look. That looks fantastic. Very well made. Now, if your crock pot has a warm option, that would probably be the best option to use to obviously keep it warm. This one obviously doesn't have that, so you could try keeping it on low if you want, but I would still keep watch on it just in case. I would definitely leave the lid on so that way the surface of the con queso doesn't dry out, over time from evaporation. But if you're not comfortable with it, you could just turn it off and leave the lid on, because for the most part, some crock pots are pretty good at holding heat for an extended period amount of time, and especially for how long it'll last if your guests are really enjoying your con queso. So let's go ahead and try some ourselves. So I'll turn it off now. All right. And here's the chips we had from before. Let me just apologize in advance if you hear me eat on camera. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Oh yeah. This came out much better from last time. Definitely didn't overcook it this time. Very happy about that. Try another. Perfect. Oh yeah. Much better from last time. With it being too hot and overdone. But this came out perfect. Very happy with it. So there you go, guys. That's how you make yourself a terrific portion of salsa con queso. All the recipes and stuff are in the beginning of the video, as you know. And, watch this anytime if you want to make your own, if you ever need to reference anything again. And hopefully you'll have yourself a good pot of it, just like I do, okay? So I hope this video was of very good use to you, and if you make this yourself, enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.